I went from making $12 an hour to making 6 figures all in the span of 2 years, and I wholeheartedly believe that it was because of these key traits that I was able to make over $100,000 at the age of 20 and break every other milestone that I set for myself. Hi, I'm Angelo, and if you're new here, I'm a 23-year-old self-made entrepreneur based in California, and in this channel we talk all about personal finance, business, self-improvement, and all things money. And the first trait I want to talk to you about is learning how to control your energy. Whatever you decided to put your attention and time into, you will become. We live in an attention-based economy where your time and your attention is worth more than gold. That's why the US alone spends over $212 billion on advertisements just trying to hijack your attention. Just take a look around you. I'm sure you see a plethora of billboards, commercials, product placements, advertisements, all of these companies trying their hardest to hijack your brain and attention. These companies know how powerful your attention and time are, and until you value your time the same, you're always going to be someone else's pawn in someone else's game. So you have to be conscious and very selective on what you put your energy to. And I know this is going to sound obvious and people are going to overlook this, but this is one of the most important traits to have because we are surrounded by distractions everywhere. The average user spends over 2 hours per day just scrolling through social media. And what do you think that does to your brain? Unless you're spending that time on YouTube watching something educational, that is a big part of your day that you're spending on something that's arguably bad for you. And I know this isn't easy. This is something that I struggle and try to improve on myself every single day. But if I didn't start trying and start monitoring what I put my attention to, I would never be in the position where I'm at today. I would never have learned how to invest, how to start a business, anything about personal finance. I would have never learned anything. I probably would have just been stuck scrolling on TikTok forever. And in order to be truly conscious and to be intentional in how you spend your energy, you have to truly know yourself. This is a concept I learned from class about Socrates, and he talks about in order to be responsible for yourself and in turn the world around you, you have to truly know yourself. And what I mean by this is that you have to start thinking about who you want to be as a person, what your values are, and what you want to accomplish. Knowing your goals and values is like having an anchor that will reel you back to reality when any distractions try to take away your attention and energy. So if you catch yourself scrolling on social media or doing whatever, I want you to ask yourself, is this in line with my goals? Is this in line with the values and the person that I'm trying to become? If the answer is no, then try to direct that energy and attention into something that actually benefits you. So if you want to be a better basketball player, watch a bunch of basketball. If you want to learn about personal finance, make sure you're watching personal finance. If you're just scrolling, watching mindlessly on TikTok, what do you think that's going to do with you? Try to use your energy and time into something that's beneficial that helps you. And that brings me on to number 2, which is to bridge the knowledge gap and to question everything. In school, you're taught to show up on time, memorize, and take tests, but what you're not taught is practical life skills that you'll need past high school. And this is by no mistake. Our education system is literally designed to create factory workers who can show up on time, memorize, and follow instructions. So of course, school will never teach you how to do your taxes, how to invest, or how to negotiate for a higher pay raise. So there's a whole world of knowledge that isn't given to us at the time where we truly need it that will most benefit us. So it's up to you to bridge that knowledge gap and to put in that effort to learn specifically about financial literacy. And I remember when I was first trying to learn about personal finance, and it reminds me of this quote by Albert Einstein where he says, "The more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know." So if you don't put in that effort and try to bridge that knowledge gap, you're always going to live a life full of ignorance, not knowing what else is out there, and that is mainly because of the Dunning-Kruger effect. And this is a cognitive bias that makes people operate with this false sense of confidence, making people believe like they know everything, but in reality, they just don't know how much they don't know. And this is why you'll see people with high-paying jobs who are seemingly doing really, really well, who are really book smart, but still are living paycheck to paycheck because they refuse or don't even know what they can be doing with their financial life. So you have to be proactive and curious so you can question everything and open doors that you don't even know existed. For example, I grew up in a very traditional path. My parents immigrated from the Philippines, so all they wanted me to do was to get good grades, go to an Ivy League school, secure a good job, and that's it. I thought that was my only path that I had to take. This is what my parents expected of me and what all my super smart friends were doing at the time. And I never questioned this. I thought I was doing the right thing until I ended up being super depressed, studying something that I wasn't passionate about. I was putting all this work into school trying to get a good job for what? It wasn't until I started to be curious and ask questions and start learning about world of money, personal finance, that I really started to become passionate about life in general. All of these new opportunities and options started opening up for me. And that's how I started my first business. I was just curious on different ways on how to make money, and I came across this video about reselling, and one thing led to another. And that year, I scaled that business to 6 figures, and that was the start of everything. So if you want to surpass the expectations that school and society puts on us, you have to take it upon yourself to be responsible and self-educate. If you don't question everything around you and put in the effort to learn, you're giving up your power and accepting the fate that society puts on you. Number 3, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Nothing is going to change in your life if you yourself don't change. Everybody wants exceptional results, but no one wants to put exceptional work. And I get it. Change is scary, change is new, it's uncertain. We don't know what's going to go on, but so is being stagnant or not reaching your full potential. Most people live out their days doing the exact same thing in routine, avoiding whatever is discomforting. We hate putting ourselves in unfamiliar circumstances with unknown outcomes. However, challenging yourself and putting yourself outside your comfort zone is the only way you're going to see what you're truly capable of. Imagine you're trying to get stronger, and every time you go to the gym, you lift the exact same weight. You never go up. How do you expect to get stronger and see results if you're not pushing yourself? In order to be successful in anything, you're going to have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. You just have to. And I hear this a lot from my friends who are stuck in a bad financial situations who want to change but just can't. Investing is too complicated. It takes too much time. Taking a side hustle is scary. It's risky. Maybe I don't want to do it. It's just so much excuses. Almost everything new to you is going to be discomforting at the start. And even if things don't work out and you make mistakes, that's okay. The pain of regret is always worse than the pain of failure. And number 4 is seeing the big picture. Now, this might be the most important trait to master and what really helped me do what most 23-year-olds couldn't even imagine. And that is prioritizing delayed gratification and having the big picture in mind. I didn't start off my journey wealthy and knowing what I was doing. My parents never taught me about money, and I wasn't particularly smarter than any of my friends or anyone around me. But at the age of 18, I realized that there was really 2 paths I can go down. I can either choose the easy choices for a hard life or do the hard choices and have an easier life. And I chose the latter. I really prioritized having discipline and putting aside what I wanted now for something that I knew that would benefit me more later on. I was just a freshman in college when I started my first business. And hell, I wanted to drink every single day. I wanted to go out and party. I wanted to just DoorDash, eat fast food. I wanted to do all these things that everyone was doing around me. But I knew that if I succumbed to these instant gratifications, to these easy pleasures, that I would not go anywhere with my life. Even though it was really hard, I was able to do it. An example is when I first started investing. I started investing when I was just a freshman in college, when I was dirt broke and I was literally stealing eggs from the dorm lounge, which I'm not proud about. But I knew how powerful investing in the stocks really is when you're young. So I tried my best to cut all my expenses, to really hustle to make as much money as I could, just so I can invest to the stock market. Investing in the stock market is a prime example of how much we have to gain if we can just ward off these instant gratifications and delay it for something that's better later on. Imagine at the age of 20, you set a goal to put $500 aside to invest into your Roth IRA instead of spending that money on unnecessary expenses like maybe going out or buying DoorDash. If you continue to do that with an average yearly return of 8%, that merely $6,000 a year contribution will turn to over $1 million in the long run. And I know this is going to be hard because we live in a world where we can get everything we want at just the press of a button. So it's really easy to forget that all great things take time. We're all inherently lazy. We all want quick results. That's why dieting is so hard. So ask yourself, are the current decisions you're making right now going to help you in the long run? And number 5, fail early and fail fast. Now, this is something I picked up in one of my business classes where we learned about the lean startup method. The lean startup method is essentially a framework that helps startups create their desired product faster and to be successful in business. And there are 3 basic principles: build, measure, learn. You don't want to overanalyze and try to be perfect because that wastes too much time. So you want to get whatever your idea, whatever you're trying to do, and put it out there and fail. Fail a lot and fail really fast. Once you fail, you want to measure, you want to see what's working, what's not, what are all the details that you get from that failure. And once you learn from those mistakes, you want to try again using everything you just learned from all those failures. I use this methodology in almost everything in life, but especially with business. And that's because most people don't start their business, don't start a side hustle, or don't even start trying to learn how to invest. It's because they try to be perfect and they overanalyze everything. Now, I owe a lot of my success to all the imperfect little steps that I took early on. For example, if you look at my other social media accounts, my Instagram, my TikTok, and scroll all the way to the bottom to see my first post, you'll see they're complete garbage. But I didn't let that stop me. I kept posting, and with every post, I tried to get a little bit better. The same thing goes to when I first started investing. I made a lot of beginner mistakes. I made a lot of bad investments, but I didn't let that stop me. I failed really fast so I could learn even faster. And this is what helped me build this big portfolio now. And this is also what helped me scale these 6-figure businesses to this day. You have to look at failure as something that's inevitable and something that you can't escape. And once you realize that failure is always going to be there, you can really start to look at it with less gravity you can start to pull your experiences and learn from those mistakes. This also reminds me of something that I learned from the book Atomic Habits, and it's to focus on just getting 1% better. Don't try to be perfect. Don't try to make these big leaps. Just focus on getting 1% better. Now, if you have that growth mindset, you're going to be able to do so much that you never would have imagined. If you take anything from this video, I want you to remember that your life will never change unless you change. It's going to be hard. You're going to fail a bunch, but that's okay. That's a part of the hero's journey. You should embrace it and learn from it. Especially when it comes to personal finance, starting a business or money, these failures are going to be the foundation of what you hopefully live on for the rest of your life. And remember, big things are accomplished through small actions, so always focus on becoming 1% better each day. I believe in you, and just by watching this video, you're already taking a step forward to living the dream life that you want. If you want to learn more about my journey and see how I made the money, I'll leave a link to the videos somewhere around here. But of course, if you guys liked it, please like and subscribe. It means the world to me. And of course, till next time.